Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu wa ba'd. Self-confidence, not arrogance. Imam al-Shafi'i was asked, what was that brought you to this level of humility? For the opposite of arrogance is tawadu'. What brought you to this level of humility? He said, I never met a person, but I thought he might be better than me. I never met a person, but I thought he might be better than me. Look at yourself every day when you meet people around you. When you see an individual, your mind starts getting busy judging them by the way they dress, by the way they talk, by the way they conduct themselves. And in this matter, you might grow arrogance. You might be feeling that you are better than he or she. Or you might work within yourself in the proper channel of balancing between humility and self-confidence to act as a Muslim should act. The self-confidence should be based on al-haqq. It should not be based on you as an individual. The more you know al-haqq, the more you have a share of this value in your life, the more you have power of self-confidence. And the quickest link, the shortest distance between you and al-haqq are the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you really want to invest in knowing how to balance between humility and self-confidence and protect yourself from arrogance, get to know Allah. When you know that Allah is the all-powerful, that He is the one you need to depend on, then you truly understand what La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah means. That you truly understand the words of the Prophet ﷺ telling Ibn Abbas behind him, إِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ. That your matters should be only directed to Him, and how could you ask someone else? As Ibn Ata says, طَلَبُكَ لَهُ غَيْبَةً مِنْكَ عَنْهُ. How could you ask Allah to be around? It is only because you don't see Him. For if you saw Him, you would not ask, where is He? It is because of your lack of understanding what is God, you tend to ask, why is things happening around me like that? Because of your ignorance about God, you get confused about things in life, and then you start depending on yourself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about a disease, al-qudra, al-bashariyah. How humans in science or other areas of life will grow arrogant about themselves, thinking that they might be gods. حتى إذا أخذت الأرض زخرفها وزينت. Wait until you see how land will be beautified and looking so amazing. وَظَنَّ أَهْلُهَا أَنَّهُمْ قَادِرُونَ عَلَيْهَا. And people will think that they are in charge. At that moment, أَتَاهَا أَمْرُنَا. At that moment, Allah will bring His matter into reality to show you who is really in charge. And this happens for an ummah, for a nation, for a community, and for an individual. the more you step out from matters and put it in God's hands while utilizing all the means available for you, the more you are able to conduct your matters properly. And then even if things didn't come in the way you wish, Allah will give you peace to accept the outcome of that. See, faith, humility, proper self-confidence is not going to change qadar for you. Whatever Allah has dictated will run. But faith, humility, and self-confidence will teach you how to cope with things if they went against that which you wish. If you are not meant to marry that person, understanding God gives you the ability to trust His wisdom subhanahu wa ta'ala. I heard an imam telling a story in my village about a woman whom she was asked to marry her cousin because his dad is her uncle and her father is the uncle of that boy or man. And she's a hafiz of the Quran, but that person barely practices Islam. And she sent every sheikh and every person, but you know, tradition sometimes, old times, you know, if your cousin asks for your hand, khalas. We have a saying in Lebanon, even if the arus is on the horse, he can bring her down, khalas. She's my cousin, she's mine. And she can't say no. Of course, that's against Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ did void one of the marriages, or at least he gave the okay to void a marriage, because a woman came and said and complained, my brother, you know, got me into this marriage, I don't want it. So the Prophet ﷺ said, we will void this marriage. She said, I just wanted to teach Muslim women what's their rights. Anyway, but she said the following, out of love for you, my dad, I'm gonna honor your word. Birran bika. And she married him. And in 2 months, this man was seen in Salat al-Fajr every single day. She was the reason for him to embrace Islam properly. I'm not saying go against what you do, your homework is what's proper to you. I'm saying sometimes things might not come in life the way you wish it to happen. But if you have full faith in Allah's wisdom, it will translate into humility. The self-confidence should not contradict with the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The self-confidence is out from what your understanding of God is all about. And if you are to stand up and say, here I am of something, it is not about the I. We are living a mushkil of I. Everyone now is thinking solo. Even technology around us, you know, iPhones, you know, Facebook, MySpace, iPads. It's about me. I don't care about the others. While in Islam, it's about a circle of humanity together thinking for their best. A circle of believers thinking for their best. A circle for a community, a circle for family, but yet it all starts from you. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. You start by the tazkiyah of this eye of yours, and then you will land on the humility, and then you will have self-confidence in what? In that which Allah granted you as a blessing, so you're focusing on what Allah granted you, not focusing on you. Yusuf alayhi salam, what did he tell Aziz Masr? قال جعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. Give me the chance to serve, more like a treasury department, for I am one who can deliver in areas of amana and trust. He was the Prophet ﷺ, and he was the school of humility, but at the same time he presented himself in an amana, not in a way to show off. The same Sahaba, whom when they wanted to even feel for ownership of money, they didn't come and they said, Ya Rasulullah, make dua that we will be rich so we can go to, you know, probably Palestine, have nice, you know, swimming moments and Yafa beaches. Or No, they said, ذهب أهل الدثور بالأجور. People of wealth, they are making all the rewards. So when they looked at values that are blessings from Allah, they asked for it so they can utilize it and that which is the truth. Ibn Mas'ud took about self-confidence and he went and read the Quran for the first time in Mecca by the Kaaba. It's not about him, look what I did. He felt the power of what the message he had delivered. The Quran that he spoke, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, gave him the power that I have the truth, I have the haqq, I can go and stand for it. Self-confidence is not about you. It's not about going and counting what did you establish, although that's part of the homework. But when it comes to a Muslim, it is about how close are you to the values that this Islam is all about. And from that you take the power to defend yourself sometimes if people are going to go against you. If people are going to claim of you, you are something like the Islamophobes. You know, I picked up only, I'm sorry, I was caught in, train and traffic, and then we had to go to another parking to park the car anyway. And then it took me a while to figure where the room is. But when people question your authenticity, your genuinity, your factual truth, Ibn Mas'ud was the same person who did that recitation. What did he say? When they questioned his knowledge, they said he doesn't know much. He said, Wallahi, ma min ayatin nazalat. Never an ayah was revealed, but I know where it was revealed, on whom it was revealed, and for what it was revealed. And if I know someone else who knows about the Quran more than I will travel to learn from him. This is self-confidence, not to show off, but to defend a status of ability to deliver on something. And this is at the same time relativity to the truth of knowledge that he acquired. So you have a value of al-aman, al-sidq. You have a value of ar-rahmah, mercy. You have a value of the knowledge of the truth. All these values can be reasons for you to feel self-confident about yourself. And all that will lead you into being a person of humility, not a person of arrogance. It is a matter of understanding where you are at from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get to know God. My first advice to you, spend some time to learn the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Inna lillahi tis'atan wa tis'een asma, mi'atan illa wahida. To Allah belongs 99 names, 100 minus 1. Man ahsaha dakhala al-jannah. One who encompasses it will enter heaven. What do? We just go and count. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن. We count. نعد ولا نحصي. There's a difference between al-'ad and al-ihsa. Allah, for example, in another ayah, what does he say? وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. So he used the same word like meaning, but different. How? Someone can come and tell me, count the people here. So we can go from the first lane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we come up with 100, 200 people. But when we say أحصهم, we start by this young girl here. What's her name? What's her father's name? What's her grandfather's name? What's her mother's name? What's her grandmother's name? What school she went to? What hospital she was born in? How tall is she? What are her ambitions in life? We go into details. This is ihsa. You start to get to know beyond just numbers. So if it was to the blessings, your area of knowledge is only to count the blessings. You can never understand and encompass the depth of what Allah has given you. وَإِن تَعُدُّ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. And when we want to learn about the names of Allah, it's not about counting them. Okay, memorize 99 names. It's not about just counting them. It's about ihsa. Get to know Allah and ar-rahmah. What does it mean? What is your share from the name of Allah? When you hear the Prophet ﷺ saying, Ar-Rahimuna yarhamhum ar-Rahman. So you have to have that mercy to to relate to that mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you hear about Allah al-Mutakabbir, then your share is at-tawadu'. And so on. The second advice, get to know yourself in your ability to hold on to the truth and in your weaknesses. We are not perfect human beings. And people will fall into mistakes and shortcomings. Let me tell you one thing. Islam kept the door open for everyone who does any mistake, any sin, regardless how big it is, with one condition: stay away from arrogance. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سأصرف عن آياتي الذين يتكبرون في الأرض بغير الحق. الله أكبر. I shall keep them away from my signs, those who are practicing arrogance. So even if you fell into haram, there's a difference between one because of weakness, because of vulnerability, because of moment of whatever he had in mind. But then his fitra is kicking and I'm telling him what you did is wrong. His brain is kicking, I'm telling me what have you done, and he's coming back and he says, Ya Rabbi ghfir li, no, this is not the way I am. Between someone who arrogantly comes and says, who cares? I don't care. What is God? There's a huge difference between people who engage in sin, that they are trying to do good, but because they are human beings. And the Prophet said, وَخَيْرُ الْخَطَّائِينَ, you know, among the khatta'in there is khair. You need to see that. Al-mushkila, the problem is you start engaging sin until you kill your fitra, and then you start believing in yourself, and then you start making decisions of what is right and wrong as a human being, rather than depending on what Allah decided as right and wrong. And then you become God, or you think you became God. And this is very dangerous. Self-confidence, when studying yourself, learning about yourself, learning your ability, yet you are to maintain your means. You are to engage on actions. Don't tell me just because you read Al-Fatiha and Ali Imran and Al-Baqarah before your test, you're gonna make it. You know, if a kafir and a Muslim go to the, you know, in a boat and they both, like, you know, fall into the water, the only one is gonna be saved one who knows how to swim. Doesn't matter any kafir or believer or not. But the ayah is very clear. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ, when you have done your homework, when you have looked at the best college you need to attend, when you have applied for your, you know, financial means properly, don't wait until the school is done and then like rush crazy, and then your mom is going behind you, ya walad, ya binti, ya. And then no, tawakkali ala Allah, have faith in Allah. Of course you have faith in Allah, but we have faith in Allah to use the means before we land on that. So the matter is in relation to knowing yourself, utilizing the means. The Prophet ﷺ took all the means. He planned the hijrah in the best way you can think of. But then when he was in that cave, Ghar Thawr, and Abu Bakr is thinking of means, and he said, if anyone looks down, like, for God's sake, how couldn't they see us? He did not say, no, we planned it well, we had it secured. He said, مَا ظَنُّكَ بِاثْنَيْنِ اللَّهُ ثَالِثُهُمَا. He dropped all the means and he let matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is self-confidence in pulling yourself out from making matters and putting it in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you are utilizing the means, he went at noon when no one would step out. He had people going behind him with sheep so it will cover the track. He had people planning to bring him the food. He had prepared with a pagan to go and, show him the way to Medina. He done everything by the book. But when the moment came, he dropped all that and he said, Inna Allah ma'ana. So in your journey to Allah, because we are all traveling to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, you need to know yourself and you need to know God. And if you know your weaknesses, and that even from the darkness of your weakness, it was narrated in one of the athar that the Prophet ﷺ was brought by a person. How much time do I have? I'll save you the 5 minutes. He said, Inni uhaddithu nafsi bi kufr. I'm having bad thoughts. So the Prophet ﷺ, what did he say? He said, ذَلِكَ عَيْنُ الْإِيمَانِ. This is the true proof for your faith. Why did he say that, ﷺ? Just this thought and calling it kufr, it means he is still deciding things properly, making decisions that are proper. This is kufr and this is iman. If he was able to do that, then he has good that I want to build on. So don't let shaitan beat you when you are doing haram to lose self-confidence in yourself first, that you are able to pull up. If you still have this iman in you, even in the smallest amount or whatever, light of a beam, you can build on it and grow and get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you need to believe in yourself that you can always come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will answer non-believers if they call on Him. How could He not answer you? And you are saying, La ilaha illallah. How? You just need to show humility. You just need to declare that you have nothing in power in your hands. It's all up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end, you need to look up to Him and say, Ya Rab, you are the one. And let His wisdom prevail in that. Let me finish with this note. The issue of self-confidence has many factors to make you grow strong. We need to probably, when we are facing all these challenges we are facing now in life, probably Sheikh Muhammad mentioned some of that, but I just want to say that never praise yourself, even when you are facing the most hated enemy of Allah. Don't think that you made it. قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ. Say only by the mercy of Allah and by His graciousness. فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا. This is what you should invest in. Don't think that because of your homework you made it. Because many people did their homework and they didn't make it. Don't think because of this pill I was cured. Because many people took that same pill and they were not cured. Don't think because of this car, because it's Lexus, I made it. Many people had a better car in mechanics and they lost it. قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ. So don't be distracted when facing people attacking you from keeping your humility with Allah. Because we tend, when we are defending a value in front of someone who is attacking it as a non-believer or a hate monger or whatever, to start leaning toward focusing on ourselves. And that's when we have lost the battle right on the spot. Even when you are faced and you are defending, don't sit back and smile. Wow, man, I made it. There was Sheikh Muhammad Mutwalli Sha'rawi rahimahullah, and this story was told by the taxi driver that drove him after he was honored by the previous president of Egypt, he was brought into some award. So it was given to him. He's a huge scholar. So on the way back home, he told the taxi driver, hold on, pull over. He pulled over next to a masjid. He said, wait for me, I'll pay you. He went in, and when he stepped out, the taxi driver saw all his clothes like dirty, messed up, and he didn't smell properly. He said, Ya Sheikh, Maulana, where did you go? So he just was honest with him. He said, I felt a little bit pleased about myself when they got me that award. So I wanted to purify myself right on the spot. I told you to stop by this masjid. I went and I cleaned the washrooms, and now I'm going back home to make sure that I am what? I am in a status of humility. Self-confidence that brought him to be honored, but then at the moment that he thought it might be because, fix it and don't let it grow, because you would have wasted everything you have done before. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you all, guys. Assalamu alaikum.